Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to another week here in June. Today is June 14th, 2021. We're almost halfway through 2021, although maybe you're like me and think the second half of the year usually feels longer than the first half. It seems like there's more things going on in it. Maybe I'm wrong in that regard. So this is just a time where I answer your questions and talk to everybody. Just back and forth chat if you have a question or something. We still have a few tickets, maybe 5 left for the Dice Tower Retreat in September. The Dice Tower Retreat in December is sold out at this point. You can still email us so we can get you on a wait list. And there's a possibility we might be able to add a few people to that later on, but that one is sold out currently. Also, Dice Tower Cruise is selling. We're getting ready here for the Summer Spectacular, which is coming up soon. I've already recorded 4 videos today. One of them was quite extensive here. And there's a lot of stuff going on that I'll be working on as the day goes by. But I'll take a break here to do a Q&A and talk to you all. So let's get started here. Let me look at the questions. Is Kenny a gamer? Yes, that's how I met him, in our game group. If so, what kind of games does he play? Kenny plays pretty much anything we put on the table, but I think he likes Euro games the best, I think. Let's see. Your talk about Transport Tycoon on breakfast made me think back to the good old days. Do you think a Transport Tycoon board game could be interesting? Maybe, but I doubt it. Transport Tycoon is interesting because I can do so much stuff, like SimCity, and there's some things that just work better on the computer. So I'm not looking for a board game of that. Any update if you're selling games at the retreats? No, there's still no update on that. It's possible, is the closest I'll say right now. Is there a kids section in the Dice Tower library? Yes-ish. And I say yes-ish because I have a whole 2 shelves full of kids games, but we haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet. And because we don't know how many, there's no kids coming to the Dice Tower retreats. And there are kids who come to the Dice Tower cruise, but they mostly just go and do cruise stuff. And we have games in the library that can be played by families, so if parents bring the kids and play games with them on the cruise, they do that. And I'm wondering if I want a dedicated children's section. If I did, it would only be at Dice Tower East. But I do have 100 some games that are great for that purpose. I haven't done anything with them right now. How much playtesting do you believe gets placed on the alternate option rules in most games? It feels like almost none, right? I wouldn't. If I designed a game, I did design a game, but when I designed a game, if someone said, what if you could do this or that? Oh, that's interesting. We'll make that an optional rule, but I don't know that I would play test it. And I wouldn't be, if someone said, that's broken, fine, it was optional, you didn't have to do it. So I don't expect that stuff to be play tested in games. Major Westworld Man in Black vibes from today, but first of all, I'm wearing a brightly colored tie and I'm also smiling. I don't think I can be the Man in Black. My King's Dilemma review, I said I hadn't finished it when I reviewed it, but I did finish it, and my final thoughts are essentially the same. I can't get my partner to watch Batman animated series with me. Could you tell them that it's good and I'm not crazy? She's not crazy. It's not only good, it is one of the best animated shows of all time. Are we thinking about PAX Unplugged this year? We're thinking about it, but that is the extent. I haven't put more effort into it than that. Can you please tease us with a preview of Summer Spectacular? You mean like a video? I don't have anything for that. But I can tell you we're going to be playing some cool games. Let me see if I can tell you any of the games that we're playing. So, we are playing. What can I tell you that we are playing for sure? We're playing Wonderland's War for sure. We're playing Dragon Scales. We are playing My Farm Shop. That's been sitting behind me for a while, and the reason that's been there is because we're playing it for the thing. And a game called Distilled, a game called Summer Camp. So all that stuff is coming soon. Can you do a top 10 list of games at metal coins? Probably not, because I honestly would forget if the game came with metal coins or not. I have metal coins in a lot of my games. I have 50 games plus with metal coins in, but I've added it to many of them, and I wouldn't remember which ones were which. I'm torn between Arcadia Quest and Starcadia Quest. Which one did you like best, and which one has more replayability? It's really the same for me. There are things about Starcadia Quest I like better. I mean, right now I'm kind of tilting towards Starcadia Quest, but the main differences are Starcadia Quest has 2 characters, Arcadia Quest has 3. In fact, I did a video on the differences between them. Honestly, pick the setting you like better. It's recently been Record Store Day, where special vinyls are released only in small independent stores to shine a light on them. Could you see a similar thing with board game stores and promos? No, I don't think so. I don't know what you mean by that. Like promos that only show up in some local stores, or promos that show up only in stores? I mean, that has happened in the past. So I'm not sure what you're asking to be done here. Oh, E3 is going on. I completely forgot about it. I was very busy this weekend, so I did not check any announcements from E3. I might just wait till E3 is over and then look at all the announcements. But I don't know. Did they announce any new systems, new games? Who knows? I will go and see if they have Breath of the Wild information, because that I'm interested in. Breath of the Wild 2. Finding folks to play with is a problem in my small town in Iceland, and online just isn't the same. Where to move? I guess I'd move to the capital, because there was plenty of people playing games there. I found that for sure when we went there to visit. Do you read business books or financial advice books? I don't. Are you worried that Mike and Chris are going to get recruited by some big network to make intros to show for them instead? You mean like ABC or NBC? If that happens, more power to them. That'd be cool. Man. Apparently I don't know how to drink. Have you ever considered to run a show on the Dice Tower similar to do the tabletop run by Will Wheaton? Not particularly, and I'll tell you why. First of all, his show is very highly produced. They have a whole team of people in there, camera crew and everything. We just don't have that. If they would mess up something, someone would say something wrong, they would pause and go back and re-record it. So maybe a joke wasn't heard, someone was talking over somebody else. They went back and fixed a lot of stuff that happened, to make the show look good. I don't want to do that, first of all. Secondly, I like the live aspect of our live playthroughs that we do. Now, we did do a playthrough last year of Twilight Imperium 4, where we talked about our stuff in between turns. I like that concept, but we didn't show the playthrough. We just showed a real quick overview of the playthrough, and then in between, we gave our talking points. We are planning to do that again at least 1 or 2 times this year, so keep an eye out for that. But that's about the closest I would get. I think the Tabletop did an excellent job, but they also were paying out to wazoo with the nice studios and editors and things to be able to pull that off. Those videos were a lot of work for sure. My favorite food from a can? I don't eat too much food from cans, actually. I mean, I want to say tuna off the top of my head, but what else comes in cans? Vegetables? I don't like fruit from a can at all. What else is in cans besides fruits, vegetables, and tuna? There's all that SpaghettiOs and that sort of thing. I don't really care for that either. I guess I'll stick with tuna for now. Is it really true you rarely keep inserts? It's very true. In fact, I threw out another insert today because everything from the game was bouncing around in a box, and then some of the stuff didn't fit in right. And I was like, forget that. Let's just get rid of the insert. I got Nemesis and a new Sword of Sorcery Kickstarter. Nemesis played 5 times. Sword and Sorcery played 0 times because of no insert. Why would having no insert make you not play the game? That's confusing to me. Who cares if there's an insert or not? Aside from Brandon Sanderson, who are your favorite sci-fi authors? Whoever wrote I really like David Weber, Robert Heinlein, Isaac Asimov. Those are classics, obviously. More modern stuff. Oh, Michael Stackpole. I really like Michael Stackpole's stuff. Timothy Zahn. Those would be some off the top of my head. Actually, I like Timothy Zahn better than Michael Stackpole. Do you have an expensive pen? Doubtful. I'm sure I've gotten some in the past. People have given me gifts. I lose pens so much. I buy pens by the hundreds. And I have a drawer in my office that's full of pens. I have a drawer here at the studio full of pens. I have a drawer at my home office full of pens. And I got pens sitting all over the place because I constantly lose them. I'll be coming on Tuesday for the November retreat. Does your crew need any help unloading or setting up? I don't know, or I don't think we'll need a ton, because honestly, we're just pulling these. I mean, the setup I need help with is now. I'm going through each shelf. I'm done with 5 shelves. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. I'm delaying doing the Ameritrash shelves to last, but I open them up, see what inserts and everything that's needed in them, and yada yada yada. So I'm working on them one shelf at a time, but I'm going to try to get as many done as I can. Will there be a live top 10 list this week? No, because Mike is going out, taking a few days off this week, so we wanted to do the top 10 list with Mike because it's a companion piece to our last top 10. Our last top 10 were games that were ugly, but they played well, despite how ugly they were. This time, we're talking about games that look gorgeous, but they suck. So we'll do that next week. Instead, this week, I'll be putting out a companion to what I did last week. Last week, I did The Wonderful World of Dice, and I talked about how dice are used in games and things. This week, I'm going to be talking about combat systems in games. So a very similar video where I pull out different games, and that's what I did this morning. I put that all together. Mike is editing it now. Is Scapegoat a victim of theme? Would it have been better with no theme at all, just shapes and colors? No, I think it needed a theme. I just don't think that goat theme helped it at all. What upcoming MCU show movie are you most excited about? Well, I would have said Loki, but that's currently happening. Spider-Man, the Spider-Man thing. If they do the multiverse thing, like the rumors are happening, I'm really excited about that. Would the new Kemet be a good fit for a Dudes in a Map game? Yes, for sure. What are some of your biggest gripes in games, such as aforementioned storage instruction during Board Game Breakfast? Well, I mentioned a lot of them there. We did a top 10 list on this subject. You can check it out. Top 10 things publishers need to stop doing. How many keys are on your keychain? I don't have my keychain on right now. It's in my office. I don't know. I know there's probably like 3 or 4 keys on there. I don't know what they do. So I got a key for my house, a key for work, multiple keys for work actually, a key for church. Those are the 4 keys I use more than any other key. I got a key for my wife's car. So that's 5 keys that I use, I guess, somewhat frequently. My own car key is electronic, so I guess that key's on my key ring too, so 6. And then I got a few other keys in there. There's one to a lock for our backyard, a padlock. There's one for a cabinet. I don't know. There might be 10 keys. What is the future of board gaming? Superb. Do you find it annoying that the first pictures of a game on Board Game Geek are often heavily upgraded components for the game? I agree. I very much dislike that. I wish there was a way to separate them out. There needs to be 3 categories: actual game components of the game as was printed, not the prototype. Because then sometimes so what I do to look at actual pictures of the game, I go back to the very beginning. If you can go and look, the first pictures upload for that game, they're usually just the game because no one has made upgraded stuff yet. But sometimes they're the prototypes. So take out the prototype stuff. So actual pictures of the game, the box, the components, a gameplay setup. You know, few games on Board Game Geek have a nice setup of a mid-game. So that's one category. Then another category could be upgraded stuff. Look what I did. Custom cards. Then the third category could be people/cats. I don't know why I need to see a picture of a cat in the box of Kemet. That's not useful to me. I'm not saying it's a bad picture. You might want that picture because you love your cat. I don't love your cat. So I don't know why. That's just not a useful picture. I think there's definitely photo clutter on Board Game Geek. Will we be doing a 24-hour gaming marathon again? Probably not. We found that the Spectaculars accomplish a similar thing, and we're not so exhausted and tired. What do you think Kickstarter should do with the current shipping inflation? Pass the cost on the backers or delay releases? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you there. How much were you paying for that storage unit per month? Some money. I don't think storage is overly pricey here in Florida. There's a lot of storage units down here, so it's not, I didn't feel like it was highway robbery. Let's see here. How much is now possible for you and the rest of Dice Tower Group due to COVID restrictions in your area? We're pretty free here in Florida. Now realize we live in Miami area, which is the strictest place in Florida. My daughter lives up in Pensacola, and there's almost no restrictions up there. But down here in Miami, I had to wear a mask. Oh, I wore a mask to church yesterday, but our church is loosening up tremendously in that regard. Almost every store now you can go into without a mask if you're vaccinated, which I am, so I don't, but I'd say a lot of people still do. Everyone in my game group practically is vaccinated, so I invite them all over to play games, and we do that. So things are kind of back to normal. The big thing that's not back to normal is conventions, right? So conventions are just gonna come in slowly and see what happens, So we'll just have to wait. The Dice Tower, the Summer Spectacular. I did not think of that. Maybe we'll have a segment called that. Is there a chance you'll see a live play including Eric and Chris together? I will make that happen, okay? And I'll make sure it's a game where talking occurs. Could you review Sheer Panic one day, please? I reviewed Sheer Panic way back in the day. I don't have it now, so I won't review it again. Will Ruby and Violet get to be in the Summer Spectacular? I don't know. I really don't know what's going on right now. Do you have a favorite game mode or scenario in Funkoverse? Yeah, it was, I don't remember what it is. It was the newest set. Had a really fun, was it a sports game? What was it? There was something, I got to remember what the newest set even was, but I liked the scenario in it. I don't remember what it was. So that's not very helpful at all. I guess the answer is yes. What game should I take to college? Definitely take some party games because people at college like party games, and then take something else. My daughter, who does not play board games. So I've always said, my kids don't play board games, but my daughter Amy does not play board games, and yet she came home, played Ticket to Ride with us, specifically so she could take Ticket to Ride back. Played it with her friends, sent me and my wife a picture yesterday. She apparently played Ticket to Ride and won, so taken after her mother in that regard. And then she called me last night. So my daughter Amy called me. And I was like, oh, yeah, Amy called me. She's like, is it Catan or Catan? I said, I actually don't know. I always say Catan, but I've heard some people say Catan. I'm not really sure. She said, well, that wasn't very helpful. Then she hung up. That was why she called me, to find out the pronunciation of C-A-T-A-N. Catan. I don't know. So maybe she's playing more board games now? I'm not sure what's going on there. During Summer Spectacular, where you hang on a second. Are you going to do a top 10, top all-time, a top all-time games or top of 2021 so far? No. We never have, and I probably never will do a halfway through 2021. Here's the best games. In fact, one of the reasons is what I just told you. Remember I told you the second half of a year seems to have more games than the first half? More time. There is 100% more games released in the second half of the year as opposed to the first half, for whatever reason. Any tip to get family more engaged during games? Yeah, it'd be more fun to play with. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. If you want people to be engaged, be fun. You came to Iceland? Yes, there was a Midgard, was a gaming convention, and Z and I came 2 years in a row, actually. Some of the best times of my life was going to Iceland. It was fantastic. If Netflix approached you guys for shows about board gaming, would you do it? Yes, of course I would do it if Netflix approached me. But that's not going to happen. And what subjects would you talk about? I think I would do variations of what I'm doing now, where I talk about using dice in games, and I would show all, stuff like that off. I'd do stuff that sounded interesting to people, but that also showed off fun games. Who's your Beatle? I don't have one. What's your favorite Beatles song, if any? I want to say When I'm 64, but that's probably not true. Let It Be, maybe? I don't know. No, it's not Let It Be. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Parade, maybe? I don't know. I like a lot of their music. Can you run commentary on a live playthroughs after as a follow-up? Not really. It would be weird. See, what we did when we did the TI4 thing is we paused the game and we'd go do live commentary. And we also ate lunch, right, or stuff like that. You can't do that in a live play. It would be weird. And at the end, you'll forget it, everything that happened over the course of the game. Pineapple in its own juice is great from a can. It's okay. I just rather have fresh pineapple. Favorite game with painted minis? Oh, so many. So right now it's Marvel United. I love the minis that are being painted for that. I know you like Circle the Wagons a lot. Did you know they made an exclusive X-Files version of that game? It's called Circle of Truth. I haven't heard of that. It sounds like a joke. It also sounds like I don't care. If that's a joke, I'm not sure it's a funny joke. If it's not a joke, who cares? Circle the Wagons there's not even a theme in the game. Why would I want an X-Files theme? Which, by the way, with all due respect to X-Files fans out there, I have no interest in the X-Files. Would you recommend trying to put all Century games in 1 or 2 boxes if it's at all possible? It's possible. I got all 3 in 1 box. Well, you could do that if that's the way you want to store it. When not using insert, what do you do to keep it organized? I do 2 things. I use bags, but I also use these. Now, I know I'm biased because I got these made for the Dice Tower, but these containers here, which you might see I occasionally show up in Dice Tower videos, it's just a plastic container, snaps together. It's really easy. It snaps together pretty well, actually, but you can take them apart, put them together. Holds my components. I take it apart, put half the resources in here, half the other ones. But once this is together, you know, you can bounce it around in a box. It's not going to bust open. And I like that. So I have this. I use bags, put cards in bags and stuff. And the boards. Stuff bounces around a little bit in the box, but it's fine. These containers are amazing, and they also fit so well in boxes. So I have used thousands of these in the Dice Tower library at this point. I would imagine we have 2,000 games. Each game has about 4 of these in it, maybe, or so. Not every game I use these in, obviously. And some games I use 8, 10 of them in. Black suits you, thank you. How overrated are the Spiel Awards? I don't think they're overrated. You can't lose a pen if your pens are all over the place. No, you can still lose them. Now you've moved into the new studio. It's time to get a pet in the new studio. Dog, cat, or dinosaur? Oh, we can't. Someone here is allergic to pets, so that's probably a bad thing. I know you speed read, but you ever find a book where you just slow down and take it all in at a slower speed? Yes. And in fact, I do that often when I'm reading. And suddenly you get to a part and you just... I don't know how to explain it. You just slow down because it's just so enjoyable, that one section, then you speed up again. Thoughts on a new Battlestar Galactica reprint, retheme? I was excited for something new, but was disappointed it was rethemed to Cthulhu. Bingo! I'm right there with you. What do you and the team like to do for fun to step away from board games? Well, we like to go out to eat. We like to watch movies. We like to talk. What makes a dexterity game rather than a toy? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but all games are toys, right? They're there for fun. If you call a dexterity game a toy, it's a derogatory term, I'm assuming. But I don't know why you would do that. When you play Puerto Rico or El Grande or Terra Mystica, those games aren't any more specialer because they're more thinky than a game like Catacombs or Jenga. Those are also games. They're also toys. But Terra Mystica and Twilight Imperium 4th Edition are also toys. Do you watch any other board game YouTube channels regularly? No. I do watch some stuff from all the different channels, usually. I guess if there's one I watch almost all the videos for, it would be Paula Deming's videos, because she doesn't put out that many, and she does skits, and I enjoy her skits a lot. Thoughts on Bad Batch? I only watched the first episode. I enjoyed it, and then I just never got around to watching the rest of it. Top 5 must-see animals at the zoo? Well, you always got to go see the monkeys, right? Because they're interesting and entertaining, whether it's monkeys or some version of primates. But usually monkeys, spider monkeys, are the most interesting to watch. Prairie dogs, for some reason, I always find that to be interesting to go watch them, looking for them popping out of their holes. So that's 2. Must see the petting zoo. Although our zoo, the petting zoo, is closed, probably because of COVID. But I wonder if they'll open that back up. Maybe it's open now. I don't know. I would say the petting zoo. Must see. I like giraffes. I really like big cats, but they're so boring to watch at the thing. Bears, maybe, because bears move around more than the big cats. How do you pick which games to hang on the walls behind you? Well, Brew is on the wall behind me because we're being sponsored by Pandasaurus, and so, hey, you should check out Brew. The other games I'm just randomly putting there. So in this case, it's Block Nest, and you can't see it up a little bit. I think, can you see it on the screen? And I'll know. You see the very tiny bottom of Shipyard, an older game. Now that the Dice Tower Library is here, I just walk in, grab a couple games, throw them on the wall. I don't care. What was my favorite top 10 list to do? My favorite was the first time we did a top 10 live. There was only like 30, 40 people there, but it was so entertaining and fun, and we had never done a live top 10 before. It was very enjoyable. What do you always hope people get from your channel? Entertainment. I hope so. Would you ever do a top 10 list of app-assisted games? Yeah, I think I might do that in the future. I might wait a few more times. How is the new office coming? Good. How many times a day do you stop to by the library? A lot. Has it helped you make any of your top 10s? Yes, I'm constantly in there working and looking at stuff. I know these, man, I got games in my head all the time now because I can see them all out there. What game does your team have the most varied opinions of? That's interesting. Like, 2 of us love a game and 2 of us hate it. It'd probably be something me and Roy love and the rest everyone else hates. That's what I would guess, but I don't know off the top of my head. What is the number of gamers per retreat? Around 200. Are they usually coming in pairs, bunches, or are there also people coming solo? Yeah, there's definitely people who come solo. Some people come in pairs, but there's a decent amount who come solo. And you just sit down and play games. It's the easiest thing, I think, to find games to play at. If for no other reason, you can come to me and say, I'm looking for a game, and I will find you people to play with. With 200 people, I can definitely keep track of that. It's so much fun. Have you unpacked your book of top 10 lists? I'm not even looking for it at this point, folks. I'm so sorry. It is the lowest thing my priority. Just assume I won't find it for 6 months. Do you think that the hobby has reached its peak in terms of quality of rules and components? Yes. We will never get better than we are right now. So no. How would I know when the hobby gets to its summit? And why is there a summit? Like, is there other hobbies like movies, like the special effects are so good in movies now, they'll never get better. I'm sure they'll get better. I mean, in the last 3 years, we've seen dice get considerably better. We've seen printing on wooden components become something that happens all the time. We're seeing spot UV printing being done all over games. They're constantly getting better. Have you gone to theaters yet? Yeah, I've been to theaters now twice. Was it twice? Maybe 3 times. I think twice. Most of the theaters around here have closed, a couple of them permanently. Do you prefer the Disney or HBO Max model of it releasing for streaming? I like that, although I like HBO Max better because Disney, I'm not paying $30 to watch a movie. I I like that Disney Plus waits 2 months and then releases it anyway. I was no hurry. A big movie. We'll probably go see The Black Widow in person. But I didn't go see a ton of movies in the theaters before COVID. What's on the menu for dinner? I do not know. I do not know. How's the weight loss challenge going with that Bonniger fellow? I don't know how he's doing. I'm doing okay. I've lost some weight, but I mean, I know you can't tell, and you probably wouldn't tell till I lost double what I've lost so far. So even if he wins, which is possible, I don't know. My eating habits are quite good now. I'm not hungry all the time, which is a nice place to be in. And I give myself one nice meal a week, which I did with my wife yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. My clothes are fitting a little better, which is certainly a helpful thing. I love to see you wear more bow ties. I'm just not a big bow tie guy. I like ties better than bow ties. Do you see any potential in painting games minis and then selling the game for more money? No, that does not seem like a profitable business at all. Will you all be coming to New England next year? CT convention. Connecticut convention? I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't made any plans for any conventions at all in 2022 other than I'm going on a cruise, going to Dice Tower West, going to Dice Tower East, and doing the Dice Tower Retreat. Those 4 things are happening. But other than that, I don't know. I'm assuming I'll go to Gen Con. I say it like the designer says it. Well, I don't know that I've ever heard Mr. Toiber say Catan, so I don't know how they say it. Sorry, I'm not talking. Let me go through here. Are there any game surprises you encounter in 2021? Yes. Are there any disappointments? Yes. I'm assuming you want the full details on that. I don't have that right now. But yes, there have been surprises and disappointments. Melody lives quite a bit away from me now, 12 hours. So she said they might be down at Christmas time. So I might see her then. But I don't think she'll have time to do a top 10 list with us. Is Roy building the new Warhammer stuff? I don't know. I think he's at least opening it up and looking at it. Hey Jude. Yeah, it's a good one. I like that song. Do you know what's next for your classic reviews? No, because I honestly just pulled 2 games off the shelf. I was looking through my little games, and then I cross-referenced that with when I reviewed it last. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do in the future. When I do these older classic games, I'm just going to grab some and be like, oh yeah, let me try this one out, and I'll do it that way. When Legacy games came out, people were scared they were going to take over. I have no idea why anyone thought that remotely. I still don't understand that. That is fear-mongering by the people who say it. Any game that comes out is not taking over. Like when Dominion came out, deck building, wow, tons of deck building games came out. But tons of games came out that weren't deck building. Even with something super common like miniatures. Like, oh, every game's got miniatures. No! Every game doesn't have miniatures. In fact, more games don't have miniatures than do. So this whole, oh no, who cares? If you don't like a genre game, that's fantastic. But you can completely skip it and be fine. So yes, that's what's happening with app-driven games. Because that's what happens with everything. There's nothing that's in all games. Unless, like, there's a rule book. oh, good rules. I hope these don't take over the hobby. That I'm okay with. Come Together. Yeah, I do like that one. I also like Hello, Goodbye. Or is it just called Hello? I don't know. Is there a type of World War II themed game that you think should still be made? Any Second World War themed game you're looking forward to play again? Well, Blitzkrieg for the second one. For the first one, I don't know what you mean by that. I guess. I don't think anything needs to be made. If Marvel United's expansions were available last year, do you think it would have made your top 10 of 2020? It would have definitely been a contender. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. But yes, I would have certainly considered it. So it's going to miss out in that regard. But maybe it will show up in my top 100 games of all time. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. That's not like a preview. I'll make my top 100 later on. Is there a reason why these games take so long to come back in stock? Yes, because the production queue is so jammed up right now. All the manufacturers are really behind schedule. What's the difference between a game studio and game publisher? Ooh, I just got a thumbs down. What did I say? I really like cats. Does that fix it? Oh. I'm trying to go back and think, what did I just say that was controversial? Oh, well. Anywho, the difference between game studios and game publishers, game studios are usually design-oriented. They design the game, and game publisher publishes it. That's not always the case. Sometimes publishers call themselves studios, etc. It's confusing. But like when I started Dice Tower Designs, I called it, that made nothing personal. Then we made one game. But that was a studio, I suppose. Do you like to use atmospheric music when playing certain games? Sure, I just pull up Spotify and play the music I think is atmospheric. Hey, Tom, we just moved to South Florida. Oh, you should email me if you're close enough to game with me. Have you ever thought about moving elsewhere? Do you think you're here to stay? I've thought about moving elsewhere. I don't know. I love South Florida, so I'm here to stay right now. We'll see. Do you have enough games to mention to make an I Cut You Choose in your new Mechanics series? I don't think so. There might be, but I don't know. What exactly is the photo box used for your small card games, like the one in your recent for sale review? Got a link, or what verbiage do you search for, etc.? I don't know what they're called. I just bought 2 more of them, but I know where I buy them. It's at Michael's. They're on sale at Michael's almost every time I go in. But they're sold. So I've seen them for sale at Michael's. I've seen them for sale at the Container Store. I don't know if I've seen them for sale at Office Max, but 100% Michael's has them. And they're clear photo boxes. You might even find them on Amazon. You know what? Nothing stopping us from looking right now. Well, maybe there's something stopping us, but so let's go to Amazon. This is your first time here ever. Do you guys believe me? All right, photo box set. Let's try clear. Yep, here they are. They're Novalinks, Novelinks, Novalinks. Transparent photo storage boxes. So Amazon definitely has them. So for $26, you can buy a case of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 16 of them. Yep, $26, and you can get it tomorrow. That might have even been cheaper than being at Michael's. Well, you know what? Let's just not worry about that for now. Will someone from the Dice Tower review the Stygian Society? Yeah, probably. It's on our shelf here. I think Mike might review it at some person. Who's the quietest person in the group? Probably Chris, I guess. It's not me, and it's not Roy, for sure. Yeah, probably Chris. Or Kenny. I guess Kenny's the quietest person. Why don't we ever see Kenny on camera? Because Kenny doesn't want to be on camera. Kenny keeps everything running behind the scenes. Do you homeschool? We do. Have you heard of game schooling? I don't know what that means. I'm looking it up now. Game schooling. Is this just how to use games in homeschooling? Let's see. Let's take a look here at this. Oh. The best games. Oh, let's see what they say here. So let's take a look at the games they recommend for math. All right, let's see this. The best math games for this. Come on. So many things are popping up here. Game schooling, yada, 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 yada. Where's the math games? Prime Climb. Never heard of it. Check the Fridge. I don't think I've done that. Countdown. I don't know that one either. Oh, Pandemic. Alrighty. Alrighty. Pandemic is good. Alright. Math. Clumsy Thief. Meal Borns. Ugh. Catan. Okay, there we go. Star Realms. Not bad. 5 Crowns. Wingspan. Alright, so there's like a mix of games here. Aren't I already doing that, though? Like, I always talk about using games in education. So I guess that's what game schooling is, I guess. Why do you usually not have number ratings in your review? Because people will fixate so much on the number, they'll ignore everything else you said. If you don't believe me, we put number ratings in our Foursquare reviews, and consistently, there is complaints and arguments about, you said the game wasn't that good, but you gave it a 7. Yeah, your number, on and on and on and on and on. What would it take to convince your wife to finally make a top 10 games of all time list? I don't think I would try to convince my wife to do that. There's a lot of things that I know that she doesn't want to do, so I don't try to convince her to do that. I don't know that I would want someone to do that. So, for example, I have no desire to go hunting. I just don't. I'm not pro or anti-hunting in any way. I just don't want to do it. And if I had someone who just kept like, let's go hunting, let's go hunting, let's go hunting, let's go hunting, after a while it would get annoying, right? And maybe they could persuade me to finally do it, and I'd be like, ah. What people want is when someone doesn't want to do something, you're like, come on, come on, come on. What they want them to do is to do it, and then the person goes, oh my word, this is so much better than I thought it would be. I was wrong all this time. That's what people want with board games, right? Someone says, I don't really like board games, and you're like, yes, but if you just played this one board game, your mind would be opened, and you would now love board games forever and ever. Amen. But that doesn't necessarily happen. Most of the people I've introduced board games and got into board gaming were already kind of there, or they were already interested. Contest for the Q&A. Yes. Yes, let me pull that up. You would think I would write that down. All right, let's see here. Let's find contests. So our Q&A today is June 14th. It's for a $10 gift certificate from Game Nerds. All you need to do to enter this contest is to email us at at contest@dicetower.com. And in the subject line, put the word flag. Because in America, today is Flag Day. You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag, and forever in truth may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true to the red, white, and blue. Unless all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag. That's probably the wrong last line. I probably got other words wrong. Anyhow, it's Flag Day, so put flag in the subject line, put your address, and someone will randomly win. Congratulations already to the winner for Flag Day. And now I'm going to look up the lyrics to that. You're a grand old flag lyrics. That was written by George Cohen. What is it? It's, you're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag, but should all acquaintance be forgot. Oh, that is right. Okay, keep your eye on the grand old flag. Well, I wasn't so far off after all. There's verses to this? Huh. Well, I did not know that. Sorry in advance for all... Now there's 3 thumbs down. I should have known not to sing the foolishness. The audacity. I'm in a good mood today. All right. Have you tried butterbeer at Universal Studios? I did not. Every time I go there, there's someone with me, like Jason or my daughter, like, butterbeer. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm just not that interested in it. I'm definitely not interested in standing in a long line to get it, especially when there's like gelato over there or something over here. I'd rather have that stuff. What will you do if a sponsored game playthrough and it turned out to be a bad game? Well, we've done that. Will you still review the game? Well, yeah. I mean, at some point, unless the game is just horrifically bad, we often don't review these horrifically bad games anyway. But yeah, we have no qualms in reviewing the game. We will still do so. Have you seen the show Small Fortune? They literally play tiny dexterity games to win money. Well, honestly, Minute to Win It is a bunch of dexterity games. Since you didn't have to spend as much time and money towards travel and cons last year, was there anything you were able to accomplish that you might not have been able to if 2020 was a normal year? No, because we ran into other problems and other things that we had to pay for last year, so it all evened out. The top 10 games these jokers don't appreciate. That might be a fun list to do at some point. Yeah, Roy, Mike, and Chris, maybe. I definitely want to see a Four Squares review where the 4 participants disagree vastly. Sure, I know it's what people want, but in reality, that doesn't happen very often. We very rarely, really disagree on a game. We might have some disagreement on it, and we've had some before. There's been ones where I was the one person who didn't like it as much as everybody else, or vice versa. Sometimes we're all, really loving on a game, so it all depends. Yes, it'd be neat if, this person loves it, this person hates it, this person's, mediocre on it, this person says it's not bad. That's fine, but that doesn't happen that often, and we can't artificially make it happen. Is there any rhyme or reason as to when videos come out during the week? Yes, there is. If it's a review of a game of considerable interest, do you upload it on any specific day? I do. And this is just my guessing, right? But when I upload the reviews, so I do the review of my kids, that's my Tuesday review. It just is that way. But I used to put a bigger review on Tuesdays. I'll put a bigger review. I always try to put one big review on Sunday if we have one, because Sunday's just a day a lot of people watch. If I put my least watched reviews on Saturday, because the fewest people watch then. And I usually put a big one. So it's Sunday, Friday, and Wednesday. That's kind of where the big ones go. And I usually pair a big review up with a small review so that they don't take from each other. Will you put out a list of all the games in the Dice Tower library? I already put out one, but yes, I'm waiting till I'm completely done with the library. Like I said, I'm 1/5 done. I'm going to work hard. I feel confident this week I will get 3 shelves done, so I'll be up to 8 out of 25 done. I'm hoping. Did you mention yet how great the first episode of Loki is? Yes, I did not mention that, but I'm sorry, so no. But yes, I really enjoyed it, but I want to wait till I see the whole thing. But so far, it's my favorite of all the first episodes. Do you think the Dice Tower would be as successful if you were starting today? I don't know. I don't think so, actually. It'd be harder to get my voice out there. When I started, there was very few people doing board game reviews on YouTube. I was very fortunate to start at that point in time. A lot of hard work goes into success, and I hesitate to call the Dice Tower successful. Although it is my full-time job, so I guess there is in some ways success. But I want to be cautious. I'm not trying to brag about Dice Tower. Hard work for sure. I always believe one of the things about Dice Tower that succeeds is I never give up. I will always publish content. I will do something. But there's definitely luck involved. I jumped on YouTube just at the right moment. There's also time. How has Dice Tower been a success? Well, I've been reviewing games for almost 20 years. I feel like next year I'm going to do something, because next year is the 20th anniversary of my first review. 20 years of reviewing board games. Maybe we'll have some sort of humongous mega contest. Oh, yeah, the top 10 annoying gamers live. That one will be redone at some point. Don't worry. Yes, Ray is right. People generally do not want to pay for the time it takes to properly paint minis. It takes time, and that's very expensive. Which Doctor Who sonic screwdriver do you prefer? I like David Tennant's version. I don't really care. I don't really look at them that long when he's pulling them out. David Tennant's is fine, I suppose. I just don't think much about it. Even though it's a special year, would you consider doing multiple retreats in 2022 as well? I am thinking about it. The multiple retreat idea, it depends on how successful and how difficult they are to run this year. But if it works well, we might do it. Will you be at Essen 2021? I'm currently planning to not go to Essen 2021. Oh, you saw it on a documentary about... Well, that would make sense. I guess that would be a good way to learn how to do it. How's it going to feel when you win the bet with Stephen B and are able to retire suspenders? No, listen, I want to be really clear. I could weigh 130 pounds and I would still wear suspenders. I like suspenders. I don't wear them because I'm fat. I like suspenders. Can there be a poll for what you guys will play live in the Summer Spectacular? Likely not. I like picking and choosing myself because I think I know but games will win that which aren't that interesting to watch. We want games that are interesting to watch. I'm worried that Kickstarter is taking over and that fewer and fewer Kingdom Death games will make it to retail. I don't know what KD means. Kickstarter. Oh, Kickstarter maybe games? Sure. That's maybe the way it's going to be in the future. I don't know. But then in that case, you got to pay attention to Kickstarter. And then if the game's interesting, the second time it's Kickstarted, because if a successful game comes out, it will be Kickstarted again. There's your chance to back it. Did you try the new Dominion app? I have not yet. That is something I would like to do. I've been playing so much Hearthstone these days. It's the tie with that shirt, Tom, hence the thumbs down. Oh. The white tie with meeples on? Like a white tie doesn't go with a black shirt? What shirt does a white tie go with then? Well, that's why I got the thumbs down. Then so be it. Oh, I'm kidding, folks. It doesn't bother me that I get a thumbs down. That's life. If thumbs down bothered us, we'd have stopped doing the video a long time ago. Do you have a favorite musical? I don't. Yeah, I mean, yes, but what it is off the top of my head, I don't know. We just watched In the Heights, me and my wife. I don't know. I'd have to. That would be a fun list to do sometime. I might do that. Ask me at the beginning of a Q&A next time what my top 10 musicals are, and I'll go through and make that top 10 list on the spot, because that might be a fun thing to do. Alrighty. Well, unfortunately, folks, that's it for today. We're at 1 o'clock, and I got a lot of things to do. Wow, a lot of questions there. Alrighty. Well, until next time, you've been watching the Dice Tower. If you're watching this at the very end, somewhere in the middle, there's a contest, and you don't want to miss that contest. So, we'll be back live tomorrow with 5 more great games, and then Shoots and Marbles, the greatest marble racing you'll ever see on the Dice Tower. Check it out. Thanks, everybody.